Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, 2025.
Happy 2025. Josh,
This
are you
year's
not
gonna
taking a?
suck. No, I'm just
You're not
kidding.
taking a
It's
drink.
gonna be good.
Josh is drinking water.
Josh is drinking
You're
vodka.
enjoying this, aren't you?
The water of liquor. I would say
He's drinking Vodak. He's a Russian asset.
he is. He is indeed. I don't trust him. I never have. Mark.
Oh, really?
So this is welcome to Reckoning Bros, everybody. And
Yes.
I'm Mark. Scotty is in Los Angeles. Josh is somewhere in the Midwest. I too am
I'm in
somewhere in the
Ohio
Midwest.
in a snowstorm.
You got 11
He's
inches
not
of
ashamed of where he's from,
Not ashamed.
Mark. He's
Well,
not ashamed of the state in which he lives, Mark.
I'm a man of the world. I've been to 30 countries.
He's
So
even saying that. But what is so wrong about? I know the kids like to say like Ohio, like it's a bad thing, like oh this is Ohio, and it's like a substitute for something being bad. I know that's
you moved
how
to
Gen
California.
Alpha talks, but
You moved to California to get out of this god awful state, Scott. Yes, I'm in Ohio. I'm about 30 miles from.
It's nice. There's nothing wrong with Ohio.
Yes,
There's a lot
there
of
is.
lovely places.
No, there's not.
You are a racist against Ohio. I'm sorry, but it's true. Mark, you wanted to tell me a story?
No, since this segment is about masculinity, and I ran across this story today, and it's just such a great fucking story. So everybody knows who John Wayne and Frank Sinatra were, and I didn't know, and I've read lots of stuff about both of them. I never knew that John Wayne knocked out one of Frank Sinatra's mafia bodyguards. And the way it went down was Wayne is in Vegas filming a movie in the desert, and they're both staying at the same hotel. Wayne's room is above Sinatra's, and Sinatra's in town to fucking party as usual. And Duke's trying to sleep. Apparently, Wayne calls Sinatra and tells him to be quiet. And they quieted down for a little bit, but when the noise picked back up and they wouldn't answer the phone, he goes upstairs and he knocks on the door and he tells Frank's security guard, be quiet or else. And Sinatra's security guard goes, nobody talks to Mr. Sinatra that way. And so Wayne looks at the bodyguard, starts to turn as like he's going to leave, and then pivots, turns around, and drops the fucking bodyguard. Fucking just drops him. And I love that story because they did not see eye to eye on politics, and they had like a political feud going on. But deep down, they were friends. But like the cavalier way with which John Wayne knocks out one of Sinatra's bodyguards, knowing full well that he's not just some guy that is a bodyguard, like all of Sinatra's bodyguards were like mob guys. And he just fucking knocks him out, and I just think it's a great story.
What's a wonderful example of masculinity.
Like, yeah, well, and it's something you'd never, like, that's just like the golden age of Hollywood and entertainers, and, you know, it's like so far afield from, like, whatever entertainment headlines you read today. I mean,
could you picture, like, Timothy Chalamet being underneath a party at, like, Ezra Miller had some kind of trans party up above, right? And then Timothy Chalamet went up there and backhanded the shit out of one of his bodyguards. I can't picture that happening.
I mean, now, can you see Justin Bieber?
He would probably break.
Yeah, his backhand, it would, as soon as he hit the bodyguard's face, if he got that far, it would shatter.
Or like,
into 15 to 25 pieces. And I like Timothy Chalamet. I think he's a great actor.
Dune's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic. But
why does everybody like that movie, Dune? I am not going to watch it. I didn't like the first one.
Because Frank Herbert's a genius. The book was fantastic because
it's about spice.
The 1980s movie
worms that poop spice.
It's obviously oil, man. Spice is oil. It's very political. I know you like politics. It's a great sci-fi. It's very Star Trek-y in that sense. It's very, let's explain the real world through sci-fi. Let's explain complicated stuff through sci-fi. Are you just
You
chugging a
okay there,
fucking
Sparky?
bottle of Jameson? He puts. There's no way. I hope to God you put something else in that bottle. You sick son of a bitch.
I can't do it.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna have to go over there later, Josh. He's not gonna be okay. I just saw him chug. The man has a throat. The man has a throat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he does.
You
Yeah,
guys are
we've
driving
all
me
tested his
No,
throat before.
you're fucking driving me crazy. Like, you motherfuckers fucking dragged me to fucking Lord of the Rings fucking movies, and I fell asleep in those.
Yep.
Sci-fi
Jesus
Dune.
fucking Christ.
I'm sure it sucked. I'd rather suck dicks at the bus station than watch that fucking movie.
Can I let me just interrupt one thing here, because we've gone round the bend, but I do want to know one thing. Mark, what is your favorite Star Trek captain? Only one. That's it. I want to hear it.
Captain James T. Kirk.
Okay.
All right.
Which
Okay.
one?
There is only one Star Trek captain.
Which James T. Kirk?
The only one.
Chris Pine
Who
or
was the
William
actor
Shatner?
that played the James T. Kirk?
William Shatner, of course. Duh, Ashley.
Okay. I disagree, but okay. We had Scott and I have had a lot of conversations about this, so
We've talked about this at length.
Of course, both of you homosexuals had conversations about Star Trek.
There's nothing more heterosexual than Star Trek. And I take that back. It is
They're all space Navy. No, they're all
homosexual and heterosexual.
Space Navy guys, like in close quarters on a ship. With
Yes. Yeah. So true. So gay shit went on.
I don't know. I humiliated myself by telling you all, by giving my opinion on Superman. A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
You did humiliate yourself there.
I'm humiliating myself on Star Trek and Dune. All right, and I don't know. You guys probably want me to pay off your fucking student loans too. Fuck both of you.
I mean,
I already
that
paid
wouldn't be
off my
bad.
student loans, man.
I have.
You just want to give me $50,000? I'll go ahead and take it, but I already paid my shit off. I'm trying to think of a way to swing this back around to talking about masculinity.
Masculinity.
Mark,
let me do something here. Let me just read something here.
Yeah,
please.
The alpha masculinity that's being peddled by the tech bros who have never excelled in any physical pursuit and who wouldn't last more than an hour playing a pickup basketball game with the neighborhood kids. That's where I think it starts.
Okay. Mark Zuckerberg, though, he can kick some ass.
Yeah, he's been doing some MMA stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are exceptions to this rule, but
yeah.
The tech bros, man, that's a whole nother thing. I'm sure they have a warped view of masculinity. I mean, when I think of masculinity, I think about Mark's story. I think about John Wayne. I think about a guy who he gave Frank Sinatra the chance. He's like, hey, he tried to probably be polite first, right? He didn't bring the monster out. He said, I'm going to go through the proper ways. I'm a gentleman and I'm going to be a gentleman. But you cross that line, your mafia bodyguard's getting backhanded to the motherfucking ground. And then I'm going to go eat a steak because I'm John motherfucking Wayne.
I'm imagining, like, through the movies, you have this big giant swing and the person goes flying when they get hit. That's what I'm...
like an old-ass 50s movie swing that would knock out a horse. Just like, bam. No, totally. That's how I picture masculinity. Mark, you've lived a longer life than us. Maybe longer than both Josh and I put together.
I live longer than Methuselah, but go ahead.
What would if you had to do a one sentence definition of masculinity? What would it be?
A one sentence definition of masculinity. I think true masculinity is being responsible for your own actions, differential to women and people and marginalized people.
Kind of like a looking out for the little guy kind of thing.
Looking out for the little guy,
yeah.
And always standing up to bullies, and always keeping your word.
I like that last part. I like that last part a lot.
Okay,
that's a good one.
If you can't keep your word, and you can't help your friends, and you can't be a responsible adult, then you know it's very people do it very they do the very cliche-ish thing, and I have to admit to like being enamored with the cliche of masculinity. What John Wayne is a movie star who exuded masculinity on screen, and I liked that and I enjoyed it. And Clint Eastwood and other and actors today, right?
Who do we
Timothy
have
Chalamet.
today? Who do we have today?
Timothy Chalamet.
No, seriously, who do we have today? What, Josh Brolin?
Timothy,
Maybe?
Timothy Chalamet.
No, they're all older. Timothy Chalamet is a good actor, man. He did, but he doesn't exude. He's like the big it actor now, which is why I brought his name up. And he can. I mean, Dune 2, he was a badass, but it's not the same type of masculinity. I mean, even if
Yeah,
you look at something like Brad Pitt type of masculinity, it was a different thing.
like in Fight Club.
Yeah, it's a different thing than John Wayne, which is a different thing than modern.
Yeah, and that's all and that's all fiction. It's all the movies. In real life, I think masculinity is standing up for. It sounds bad. I'm going to say people that are weaker than you are. So I don't mean it.
But you don't mean it in a negative way when
I don't
you
mean
say
it in a
that.
negative way. It means standing up to bullies, standing up to people that take advantage of others, being responsible for your own actions, and keeping your word.
Question.
I mean, yeah.
How do you feel about forgiveness? Do you think it's masculine to have forgiveness towards those who have wronged you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, there's obvious that's kind of gray, right? Like if someone wrongs you, and I don't know, man.
I asked Josh's dad one time, and Josh's father is a theologian, and I asked him whether or not somebody like a John Wayne Gacy or a Charles Manson can be forgiven, in spite of the awful things that they've done. And I can't remember everything he said. He said that theologians, Christian theologians, and Muslim theologians, etc., Jewish theologians, the major religions believe that you can cleanse yourself of your sins no matter what you've done. I can't get across that hurdle, right?
Mm.
I can't jump that shark. So when it's something really egregious, whatever's in the afterlife, I'll let them take care of it. What I think it's the Marines that have the saying that it's our business to take care of business. It's God's business whether or not He wants to forgive you. It's our business to take care of bad guys.
Yeah,
it's God's business whether or not to forgive you.
Let God sort it out. Yeah,
let God sort it out. Yeah,
I get that. But it's a more complicated question. What is masculinity than appears on the surface? I think
it's a very complicated question. I think the basic tenets of masculinity are, once again, standing up for the little guy, keeping your word, and being responsible. Right, and so, however it's portrayed in film and movies and books, stories. That's all well and good, and all of those personas that we read about and see about in film, that's good. That's entertainment. But in real life, I think masculinity is sticking up more than anything else. I think it's sticking up for the little guy. I think it's when you're on the street and you see. When I'm in I saw a man kicking a dog in an alleyway in Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
And I beat the hell out of it.
The dog or the man? You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get up on this. There's a little Shih Tzu getting kicked up, Mark.
The man. I beat the hell out of him. And it wasn't, he was being cruel to a defenseless animal. And, if you caught that on film, it probably would have made a good clip. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it to make myself feel better. I did it because it was the right thing to do.
That just derailed from where I was going to go next. I said, okay.
This is such a structured podcast.
So structured.
Well, everybody should know that all we
structured.
do is, have a couple of drinks and then turn the fucking computer on and go, hey, you guys want to fucking, you guys want to fucking have a convo? So,
I want to take it one step further with what Mark, you just said, and I think it's being a good father, being a good role model.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and you're a good example of that because you distinctly remember, and we mentioned this in a previous segment, that you told your son years ago. He's 13 now. He's a teenager, but you told him when he was like 7 or 8 years old. I think it was probably when he went from like kindergarten to like real school, like elementary school. That if you ever saw somebody getting picked on, that he should intervene and stop it. And even if he gets a black eye, even if he gets in trouble at school for fighting, that sticking up for somebody who's being bullied or pushed around is what you expect from him, and that you will defend him. That it's your job as a father to defend him with the school authorities, not his. That's not his job. That's your job. And that he doesn't really that his job is to always stand up for somebody who's being picked on or bullied. And I was there when you said that, and I said to him that yes, you and if your father if your father's out of town on business, I will go down to the school and take care of business. And I also said that getting a black eye or a broken bone because you stood up against a bully, it hurts far less than being thought of as a coward. Being thought of as a coward, or being thought of as a bystander or somebody who would do nothing, will humiliate you for the rest of your fucking life.
That adds 2 more definitions to masculinity.
And I agree with that, but I don't think that masculinity is just about fighting. I don't think it's only about standing up for the little guy.
You're adding resilience to it. You're teaching your child resilience. And then another thing, which I just thought of a minute ago that I can't remember because I've been drinking. So it's those 2 things. Those 2 things that you taught him. But yeah, that's so cool. That's a cool thing to tell him. I like that a lot.
And thankfully, he hasn't run into a situation like that. But he might, and he'll know what to do.
Yeah.
And and God bless you, and I mean that like colloquially.
If there is a God, he does not want him to bless you, is what Mark just said just now. He only means
I was a little confused by that one.
It's like, what? You put that disclaimer in there. It's like you were like, just in case there's a God, fuck you. Just in case he really exists. That's what you just. Fingers crossed.
Which Jesus do you like better, little baby Jesus or grown up Jesus with a beard? Scott,
isn't that from Talladega Nights?
Yeah. I'm afraid of baby Jesus.
I like my Jesus wearing a
6 pound
tuxedo T-shirt. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like.
I like
listening to TV and the radio at the same time because he likes to party.
Yeah.
I like little baby Jesus better than grown up Jesus.
I'm in the front row and I'm hammered drunk. Yeah. I don't know, man. I went
around the bend again.
We've almost stayed on topic this time. I think we have.
We almost did.
Masculinity is a multifaceted.
I saw some masculinity from Trump today, and I don't know if you guys saw any clips.
No, I have not Trump derangement system, but I just don't want to hear anything about Trump for like 2 months. I don't want to hear his name. I don't care. I'm just over it. I'm done. It's not a positive or negative thing. And I think America's right where I'm at. It's like, just no, just give me some time. No more news. I don't want to hear. Then it's like, oh, God, I turn on the fucking YouTube and the Hill's got the story about, oh, Trump says he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
America.
You're just baiting me. You're fucking baiting me. All of this I'm being baited. This is all bait. I don't trust it. I'm done. I need a fucking break. This isn't authentic. This is showmanship. I'm sick of the P.T. Barnum shit. I'm not interested. I need a fucking break. I'm not the only one. Trust me, guys. I'm America speaking to you right now.
We're going to
This
name
is,
it. We're going to name. We're going to name
it's,
it. We're going to name it.
if you want a weather vane, I'm giving you the weather vane. I'm giving you the weather vane right now.
We're going to name it the Trumpets. We're going to name it the Gulf of CJ.
All right. Anyways, maybe we'll end it there. What do you guys think?
I think we should end it there.
Sounds good.
All right. And we are done. Like and subscribe.